prize, special grand prize. It's like in tune to our kind of building theme for the soccer event, like a Tuscan style building. And
in Tuscany.
Villa, yeah. And it's like an upgradable building, 10 levels. It's 4x5, so it's kind of medium sized building, and it's really good for defending armies. So it gives like lots of goods, lots of forge points, medals, but it also gives both bonuses for defense for defending armies and attack for defending armies. So it's a super good building. And yeah, you can get selection kits for it the usual way, or upgrade kits for it the usual way, by doing quests. Where else for in the leagues? So if you do really well in leagues, depending on where you're placed in one of our 5 leagues, you get selection kits for that. Where else do we get it? In our surprise box.
Yeah,
you played the last event. You would have got a selection kit in the surprise box at the beginning of the event. And yeah, super nice. I hope you guys are liking it. We also, just to mention, we had a balancing fix. So it should be live now. So I guess a couple of you were probably wondering what was up. And yeah, we did a small balancing fix. So it's at its nice normal level now. So, yeah. Sorry about the confusion for that.
Your questions sent in, and we can hopefully answer them. Of course, it doesn't necessarily need to be just about the soccer event. You can post any questions that you have about the game generally. Sure. And yeah, we can more about things for you. We have Mikhail El Hussein Tamala Brown says hello from Sheffield. I picked this one up because I am also from Sheffield, and so it jumped out to me. Yeah, you go, Jess. I saw you were about to say something.
I have seen some questions regarding the event hub. So yeah, this is maybe something that is new that we can talk about. So for this event, it's the first event that is giving out a event hub reward edition. So in the top left of your city, there's like this beautiful grand pier, and I'm sure you're all wondering what the hell it was. And yeah, every event, basically the plan is to give out a new little event edition that will sit in your grand pier, and it gives basically different benefits, I guess, per event. And for a soccer event, it's a little fan hangout, or like a fan kiosk, where you can see like a bunch of soccer players sitting outside it, and you can gain it by completing quests. I think it's the second counter quest.
Milestone.
Yeah.
Yes.
And if you complete this, basically you get it. It's completed, and then you should get the benefits of the little event hub edition at the end of the event. And for this one, you get a supply bonus for 5 days. So yeah, I guess you guys have seen that and wondered what it was.
Yeah, we heard a couple of questions about Guild Battlegrounds and matchmaking. Yeah, so we do have plans to look at Guild Battlegrounds again at some point. I don't know, is it later this year?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember. But yeah, at some point soon. So yeah, we obviously take all of your feedback into consideration, and it's super useful for you guys to be vocal on here and also on the forum. Sorry, because your feedback is super valid. So if you don't like something, let us know, and of course then we'll look to see what we can do to fix it.
We're getting a bunch of questions on how the within the tournament, how the like winning or losing works. So we actually did we should have done a little usability or like update on how we communicate this, because I know it was confusing for a couple of people. But essentially, depending when you start your tournament match, you have like your team of 5 players, and you can switch out your players and pick the best ones to counter your opponent. And it's based on your team power, and then also we have this rock paper scissors system, so that you can counter the opponents in terms of positions. And between that, there is a little percentage chance, and it's percentage chance to win or lose. So, for example, if you have a 80% percentage chance to win, you still have a 20% chance to lose. So that's how it's working at the moment. And there was a follow-on question from that, whether when you lose a match, if the points that you would have gained, are they given to an opponent? And that's not the case. If you win a match, you would gain the points that you see like pre-match. And if you lose, it's not that your specific points are given to the opponent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, so if anyone who played the event last year, we basically made some small changes to the calculation of how the points are given. In so far that this year, it's basically better for you to have a higher team power. You get more points the higher your overall team power is, and you increase your team power by collecting more player cards. So your team power is the sum of your 5 highest players. And so, of course, to increase that, you just need to get more cards, which you can get from the training, or from you win them from quests, or also from incidents as well. We adjusted it this year so that it's basically more beneficial for you to have a higher team power. So if you're wondering how I climb up the leaderboard faster, you basically need to. I mean, you can also just win matches against more difficult opponents, because you're given more ranking points for beating a hard opponent versus beating an easy opponent, of course. But also you get more points the higher your team power is.
Is Israel Jacobo says, "Thank you. I love the event. With love from Florida." Thanks for that.
Nice. Does the tournament mode always pick the best players combination for me, or do I have to change them manually every match? So basically, by default, it will select the 5 highest, your 5 strongest players, and strongest meaning the highest team, the highest player power that they have, the power number, which is, if you look at the cards, it's the number on the top right, I believe it is. And that's the player power, so obviously it puts your 5 strongest ones there. This does not necessarily mean that it's the best 5 players for this specific match each time, because if you notice, we also have this kind of rock, paper, scissors system in there, where there's some, we have the attackers, the midfielders, and defenders, and they each have bonuses against each other. And that also is taken into consideration with the opponent team as well. So the best thing for you to do is to actually kind of experiment by switching them out and seeing how that affects the percentage chance to win. Because you may find that it's, in a lot of cases, actually not the 5 strongest players that are going to be that are going to make you have a higher chance to win, but rather if you switch out to make perhaps like all midfielders or something, that could in some cases mean that you have a better chance to win, or all of one particular type.
Question here, will the event hub eventually take into account historical performances in events? I guess that means like from old events this year or previous years. Currently no, so we basically started from soccer, and we'll continue it on for all the events of this year. And yeah.
I mean, we do have this information that if you completed an event, obviously in the past we do still store this information. So in the future we potentially could, because I know it's also quite interesting to look back and to see, okay, yeah, I completed this event from so many years ago, and to have this collection of all of the events that you've completed, because that was kind of one of the reasons why we wanted to do this event in the first place, was just to have a place where you could look and see, look, I completed all these events, and also if you visit other player cities and you see that they have then this full peer, you see that they also completed all of the events. So it is something which we could potentially do, but it's not planned right now. But in the future we could always do this.
Yeah, I guess for a lot of you guys, it would be like years worth, which is it would be really cool. Question from Carla Mack: does it reset back to the strongest players if you edit the players for one tournament? I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that.
So when you change them in one match, and then you finish that match, or you win or you lose or whatever, if you lose and you click to play again of that same match, then it will keep the same 5 players that you selected before. But if you exit the match entirely, either if you win or if you lose and don't click to play again, then the next match that you play against, presumably it won't be the same player that you played before, but it could always be, then it will select your default 5 strongest again. Patrick Campuisen says, are there any plans yet to make a 5th level of Guild Expedition? Right now, there isn't. It's something that we did think about, I think maybe a year or so ago. We did discuss about it, and of course, we always like to come back to old features to try and improve them where we can. So I know that at some point, for sure, there will be we will take a look back into the Guild Expeditions, and this could mean a 5th level, it could mean something else entirely. But yeah, we don't have any plans currently for it, but in the future, it's probably likely that we will do something for
it. John Dunton said, "Yippee, Kurt is back, but no costume." Question from Martin is 15. What was your inspiration, I guess, for the event? So for the last 2 events, we obviously added this tournament section that you're playing at the moment. And I know that the inspiration back then was that the designers, or Kurt, I guess, you did it last time, was to add more of a feeling of like managing your team and progression. So it's not just trading, that you're also in some kind of competitive arena. So it like feels like a soccer tournament. And especially with like being able to unlock parts of your team and then also upgrade them, and then that having a benefit in training and tournament. So that was the inspiration behind that, at least from what I've been told.
Yeah, I mean, we obviously had the league system, as you guys know it from some of our other events, like the fall event or Forge Ball or spring event, and we had this for the soccer event 2 years ago. But yeah, I mean, we felt that we had the opportunity to do something a little bit more exciting with the leagues, where you maybe had a little bit more a little bit more to do with it, because we like the idea, especially when it's kind of a sports themed event, the idea of having some kind of social competition involved. And yeah, we had this opportunity, and yeah, I think it's good. Julia Annunciacio says, I think this event was a little unfair. I can see why you may think that it's unfair in some of the senses that when you play a match, it's very chance-based, right? It's luck-based. And the only thing that you can really control of that is this percentage chance to win. I mean, of course, with our events generally, there is a lot of luck-based things in there. You open a chest and there's chance-based to get what the thing is that you want, or the daily special, most likely. But I understand, obviously, when you open a chest, you always get something, right? But with the tournament, it's either win or lose. And the reason why we did it this way is because we still have the training as part of the event, right? So we are not in any way impacting your ability to get the main building, the main event reward building, in this case, the Athlon Abbey. We still ensure that you have enough free event currency to be able to achieve that. And then the tournaments, which is why we have this regenerating currency in there that generates every 6 hours. 8 hours, rather? It's 3, right? Yeah, it's 3. It's 8 hours, yeah. Because this is like, it's extra free currency, and it's just a chance, you can play it and you can get some extra rewards from doing so. Like, you can, especially if you pick the easy opponents, chances are you will win the majority of the matches that you do. But of course, then you get less ranking points. So it depends what you're interested in. If you're interested in getting just the chest from winning matches individually, or if you really want to go for going high up on the leaderboard, which of course are the much better rewards, but they're a lot harder to get as well. Then you should be choosing probably like the medium or the hard opponents, and seeing what you can do, how you can change the player setups to influence the percentage chance to win. But of course, even if there is a high percentage chance to win, even if there is 80% chance to win, this doesn't guarantee that you win, of course, because there's still a 20% chance to lose, right? So that's what we tried to really emphasize this year, because we got this feedback a lot from last year that people were kind of found it hard to comprehend how you can lose an 80% chance to win match 3 times in a row. I mean, in theory, you can, of course, because there's still a chance to lose, right? So that's why we tried to emphasize this, as Jess mentioned earlier, with actually displaying the chance to lose as well as the chance to win in the match setup. And yeah, hopefully that explained a bit more.
Comment from Wesley McRory. I've hit the wall where I can only get 1 quest a day, and I need more ways to earn. Yeah. So in that case, look also for incidents. I guess you're looking for energy drinks, other than the tickets, which regenerate, like Kurt says. Incidents also contain energy drinks, and then playing the quest every day and also logging in every day should give you energy drinks. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's really just the game kind of rewards you for being active and logging in every day. Ben Wilson asks, we earn event-based... Okay, I lost it. The scrolling, lost on the scrolling. But it was a question about when you earn event-based rewards, like the upgrade kits, and when you get them in your inventory now, they're locked. And he asked if they stay locked forever or if they unlock at some point. Now, the lock is just an option, so you can switch this off and on yourself. If you look in the top right of the inventory, there should be a lock like toggle button. So you click on that and then you can lock and unlock any items that you want. The reason that we did this was that we got a lot of players actually accidentally exchanging some of their event rewards in the antique stealer, and because of course like event rewards are quite rare, of course you get them just throughout the event, so they're limited. So people were doing this accidentally, and then of course our community support team would need to like get the items back. So we just did this as a measure to to kind of stop players accidentally exchanging their rewards. But of course you can unlock these. Just go into the inventory, click the lock button on the top right, and then you can select to unlock them.
Question from Fred Dines. How many times I can play to win a daily special? So in this event, we have 2 daily specials. One is for training and one is for the tournament. So you can win both of them however many times possible by just playing either one. So you can play every time you pass the ball in training, you have a percentage chance to get the daily special. And same with the tournament. Every time you win a match, you have a percentage chance to win the daily special for the tournament. But in this case, you have 2 daily specials, which is cool. And yeah.
But yeah, you can play them as many times as you want. It's just there's no limit for it. It's just that day.
Do we have this? We don't have the Switch in soccer.
No, because it wasn't implemented yet, I think. Yeah, sorry. I had a question now. I just lost it. Sorry.
Jeremy Lengeli says, no matter how good my team is, there is about the same probability to win a hard match. So what's the point of leveling them up and also making sure that the rock paper, like that you are countering the opponent's team in the rock paper scissors or the positions, will have an effect on your percentage win chance. Definitely.
No, lots of questions coming through now.
Yeah.
I just realized why I'm losing them all as well is because I have my the comments right at the top, so the ones that I'm reading are the next to disappear. Yeah.
Jay Williams says, "Oh, go first."
No, you go. It's fine.
Jay Williams says, "How about creating shrink kits for great buildings?" Would be nice, wouldn't it? But we'd have to create assets, I guess, for every great building.
It would also be very, very powerful.
Powerful.
Obviously, you can
mini great buildings.
Yeah.
Cute.
I mean, we have some small great buildings. Like the statue of Zeus is only like 3. John Dutton says costumes would be cool. I agree, John. I agree.
Do you?
Yeah, we're missing these. Yeah, Lisa Sanzagard says, why are there only male players? It's sad. Even in a game inside a game, we get this. Yeah, I mean, 2 years ago, we had all female players in it. This was like tied into the Women's World Cup of 2019. But yeah, I mean, I think next year we should be able to. I mean, we can for sure do this, right? Yes, we only have a few minutes left, actually. So I'm just scrolling through. There's a lot of questions here. You found any, Jess?
No.
Every time I start to do one, though, you start to speak as well. So Catalin Iona says, are repetitive missions limited or not? Because 2 months ago, I do not have repetitive missions anymore. I have bonus missions. They're not limited, no. So we have missions that you can kind of cycle through, like quests that you can cycle through. Basically, you can skip them. These are not event quests, sorry. I mean, I don't know if you're meaning event quests, but in our normal story quests, we have ones that you can just complete and then they cycle through. And there's just a bunch of them, like, I don't think there's that many of them. And then you just play through them over and over again. They're limited in the sense that you can only do a certain amount per day, but it's like it's a big amount, and that's just to kind of stop bot users. So playing actually yourself, there's no way that you would ever reach that limit because it's a huge high number. But yeah, they're not limited in that sense in terms of era at all.
Question. Probably only have time for 2 more. Why the training mode does not count towards the league table score? It indirectly helps. When you're training, you will have a chance of getting more player cards. So each pass that you make in training will give you a certain amount of player cards. Like the better the pass, more cards, I think, off the top of my head. And then obviously that will either unlock new players for you or upgrade the players that you currently have. And then when you're playing the matches, you will have a better chance at beating the opponents and getting better points. So in a very indirect way, it does.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also, something where I think Kurt said this already, like training is somehow like it's the main thing, and tournament is totally optional. You don't feel like you have to play tournament to get the main event building. Like you could totally do it with just, I think I've seen that a couple of times where people are saying it's not possible to get the main event building, but it is. We make sure that it is true training.
Brent Gist says, whoever designed this event doesn't play the game. Worst event building we've seen in months.
Aww.
Brent, you're wrong, because I do play this game. I know we had a lot of people actually that were not super happy with the fact that the event building focuses on boosts for the defending army. And the reason for this is that in the previous event, we give out buildings that focus on the attacking army. And the thing is, we can't, of course, for every event, just give a building that has the highest attack boost and the most forge points and the most goods. Of course, we have to mix this up because then it's just always the previous event building is better than the last one. You also have to bear in mind that for some players, a defending boost is still useful for players who feel like very annoyed that they get plundered a lot, for example. And the other thing is that in this event in soccer of this year, we also feature last year's building, the Hippodrome, which gives boost for the attacking army. Defense boost for the attacking army, with also the track pieces for it. You can also grab these in this event. We also have the Winners Plaza selection kit, where you have the Winners Plaza level 2, which has a really, really good attack boost in there. You can also get the Colossus from 2 years ago, which also has a super high attack boost. So we felt that there was still so many different opportunities for players who are interested in attack boost to actually be able to get more attack boost buildings in this event. So yeah, that's basically why we went for the defending boost. But the other thing to bear in mind is it also has a super, super high forge point output. So even if defense boosts is not what you're interested in, I guess most players still find forge points interesting. So yeah, that's basically why we went for not just giving yet again another attack boost building this year. But don't worry, there'll be more buildings with attack boosts in the coming events.
Yeah. One more question. I just will answer this last and then we go. Marcus says, and why is the event hub bonus only limited to 5 days? Can we reactivate it later again? No, once the event has finished, the boost, the little addition will activate, and then the boost that it gives will be active for 5 days, or anyway, at least for soccer. And then it runs out and you can't activate it again. You just have to wait for the next event and then you get another one. And this is basically because like your main permanent reward with the boost would be the event building, and then this is kind of like an additional bonus that you get, and it's also to like show progression and show, like you said, Kurt mentioned, like to show what you played in the year. And it's kind of something that at the end of the event, you still get like a benefit from it, which is cool. It activates at the end of the event. So, but it won't react.
Also, the fact that it's limited means that we can go for like bigger boosts than you would get from a building, for example, because it's limited. And then also everyone's kind of in the same boat about it as well. Well, everyone who finished the requirement to get it, at least. So no player is, getting 10 times this. I guess that's all we have time for today. So thanks very much, guys, for joining us. I hope you're enjoying the event, and we hope you still play for the rest of the event and go for those higher leagues, and hopefully also to get on the leaderboard to get those exclusive rewards in the top 10.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the event and have a lovely week.
Bye.